Kia ora, Lara here, also known as Scrappykea on Instagram, Facebook, and even in my blog, which I mentioned in my previous video that I've recently updated. Now, this layout is one that I did last week, so it's actually, I think that makes it my 4th week of the year. I am going to be working on the last week's one tomorrow, so I'm a little bit behind. However, I did the layout, but I didn't do this voiceover. So my favorite photo that you can see up to the top left there from not last week, but the week before, let me get that right, is a photo of a text message that I had from my daughter. Now, if you followed along with some of the things that I make and what I work on, you will know that I enjoy paper crafting. I enjoy making cards, I enjoy making scrapbook pages, I do enjoy making little mini albums and off the page items. And so when I get a text from my daughter that basically reads, Mum, I've used up all the birthday cards you gave me a couple of years ago. Can you make me some more girly ones, please? That kind of makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So I had to choose this photo as my photo of the week. And I wasn't sure what I was quite going to do with this page. And while I absolutely love the photo, I don't love the layout that I've created, but it's a memory documented. It is this favorite photo documented. This isn't meant to be a high pressure task or an ongoing problem or frustration. It's just something I put together, and yeah, so this layout might not be a favorite, but it's a favorite photo documented. It is, it's just the way it is. I do love some of the things that I played with and some ideas that I had in my head that kind of pulled out and came together. So the papers that I'm using are called Fruit Salad 6x6 Designer Series paper. So these are smaller pieces of paper that you'll see from the start, but because I was making that double pocket page where it was 2 6x4 kind of sized backgrounds, it worked out okay with the 6x6 because I just had to trim off 2 inches. Now I have used this gorgeous little tab, and I chose these kind of tab shapes, and it's not called a tab, it's actually part of the Everyday Arches bundle, but I felt that it reminded me kind of like the little bubble text messages that you get, so that's why I pulled out these and thought I would play with them. Again, I've just cut them on that Fruit Salad Designer Series paper, which by the way is one of the celebration items, so if you want it you have to have a minimum spend. It depends which country you're in as to what that minimum spend is with Stampin' Up, but you can get this whole pack free. Now it has quite a few sheets of each paper in it, so it's kind of quite a good deal actually. Now I haven't used the fruity side for this project, I've used the other side, so you can see that it is quite versatile. It's not completely themey, especially when you've got that alternative side that you can play around with. So here I've kind of got those tabs top left and the bottom right. Now these are kind of some stamps that I've just had up there. They may not be in any of the new books, but I do really like some of the sentiments on them, and it kind of fits with that whole paper crafting theme, I guess, that I love, that my daughter was tapping into. So I've grabbed the To The Point punch, I've grabbed some stamps that go with that, and I also pulled out some cardstocks thinking, okay, which ones are going to kind of work here, and ended up just going for white with some stamping on them. So this stamp set is one of the stamp sets that go with the To The Point punch. There's actually 2 that work really well with it and that have some cool frames and things that go around there, but just adding that frame just adds quite a nice touch to the shape for me to do my journaling on, or not, or stamping on titles and things like that. So just playing around with some of the colours and trying to work out where to go with it. And I wanted to bring in a blue similar to that of the message, so the blue messaging on the iPhone that I screenshotted, and wanted to bring some of that in. So pulling out the stamp from that set from and the frame, and just sort of looking and working out what's going to work together. So I quite like how that came out on the test on the scrap paper, so now I can stamp it onto the punched out piece. And I'm just going to pull out this frame, and it kind of outlines the to the point punch, and see what that looks like, and happy with that. But then what colour do I pick? So a little bit of decision making needs to go on there, and I'm pulling out the garden green, and because it just sort of ties in with some of those papers. So if you're ever trying to find colours that work with the papers and things, on the back of these packs they have a little bit of a cardboard sheet, and it has some of the information. So the colours that go with this set are Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Early Espresso, Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, Pecan Pie, Petal Pink, Pumpkin Pie and Real Red. So I pulled out some of those colours, and that's what I played with. So sharing what I love, loving what I do. So I thought that sentiment just really tied in nicely with the fact that my daughter had asked me to do something that I enjoy doing anyway. So now I'm just sort of trimming down a piece of white cardstock to do the, it's white willow actually, to do my journaling on. And just wanted something else to sort of not copy the photo, but add a little bit of balance to the shape of the photo. So there is our strip, and it just sort of tucks in there, just sort of like the message does, if you can see how that's coming together, and popping on some of that journaling. But before I do that, I am going to actually draw an outline around it, and just using the marker for that before I do some writing. So I won't make you watch all of the writing, I will do the rest off screen, and then work on sort of pulling all of this together to finish the page. So you saw me just seasoning that stamp there and bringing out that garden green again. So I'm just going to stamp onto the same colour, so it's kind of like garden green on a garden green base, and then pulling out some of these other hearts that came with a set that kind of goes really nicely with that to the point punch, and stamping some of those hearts onto the other pieces of the patterned paper. And I'm going to fussy cut around these hearts that I've stamped. And so this is on the dotty paper, and again using that same pink that the dots are. And time for a bit of fussy cutting. Now I won't make you watch me do all of this, I don't think. I'm just going to do one of them and show how that sort of is going to be used onto that left hand side of the layout. So there's one of those hearts, and I am now going to put that all together. So I've got a little bit of the Daffodil Delight, and just need a little bit onto that background. So that's the colour that this base paper is, so just adding a bit more texture in there behind, and that will just add another little element of interest onto the layout. So you'll see that I did second, third and even a little bit of fourth generation stamping there, just because I didn't want it all super bold, and just wanted a little bit kind of, would you say watercolour effect? I'm not sure what you'd call it, but I just liked the softer tones of the stamps when I did it the second or third generation, which just means stamping more than once without re-inking it essentially. So popping these little arches to the side on here and building up the layers that I've developed. So there's our title, tucking it there before putting the actual photo. And I kind of wonder if I'm cheating with this photo. It's not like a photo of a thing or an object, it is a screenshot. And so is a screenshot technically a photo? Not sure, but it is one of my favourite moments from that past week documented. So I do have my photo ready for creating a page with tomorrow. I sort of went through my photos from last week and have chosen that, but I'm just going to have to put glue and pen to paper to get that page put together, videoed, and hopefully I'll get the voiceover done a little bit quicker than I did for this one. And yeah, so not sure what page protector size I will be working on, whether it'll be 4 or whether it'll be a 2 similar to this one that I've already been doing, but it is time to choose a new page protector to put that together on. So maybe the same, it may be different. we shall see. I do like the full 6x8 size rather than it being separate pieces, so I'll have to play around with my options there. So I'm just now going through some of the different dot embellishments that I've got in my box, which you can't see a very good shot of to the left, but I am pulling those out and getting ready to add a few on. So I just chose this wee one that I had with some florals and some hearts on it, and just pulling out some of the yellow hearts which are close to that Daffodil Delight colour if they are not Daffodil Delight. It was in the clearance section a wee while ago that I got these, but they just add a nice little finishing touch to this layout about a photo or about a screenshot that that has nice kind of those warm fuzzy feelings, so it makes it a nice moment from that week before. So adding a couple more there, just sort of tucking them in a few different spots. You see I've pulled in a few different colours that kind of back up the Everyday Arches colours that I've got right around the left side and again onto that right hand side. So just about finished, and just playing around with that stamp and getting that all cleaned off and clearing my space a little bit before I get ready to put that into my album. Hey, thanks for watching. Check out the others on the playlist, and it won't be long before I have the next one ready. Thanks.